Hi, I'm Darlene Washington, and this is Spiritually Intriguing, the Church Edition. We're on RazzmatazzTV.com. I'm here once again with Pastor Timothy F. Brown from First Baptist Church of Gary, Indiana. Pastor?
Hi, nice to be with you again.
Okay. And we're just continuing our discussion about secular and spiritual issues on things that are going on in the world today. And we're actually going to go back to the Republican election because I just want to. But anyway, here we go. So back to the current Republican debate. Is there no end to their lack of evidence of their purported cries for help for America's dissolving nation? Bill Maher is a comedian and talk show host, and he can get the facts right. Isn't this how we got led into the whole Iraqi mass weapons of destruction situation with speculation, lies, and overstated actuations? What do you think?
Well, yes and no. Unfortunately, one of the things that people in general, humans in general, fail to do, and that we think that we do every day because we're up walking, talking, looking, hearing, smelling, tasting, we fail to think. We hear issues, and although we're not privy to the behind-the-scenes intricate details of every issue, there are issues that come up, as Maher did, that we can do the research on ourselves to find out if what is being said actually matches up with the truth. But unfortunately, we're living in a day and an era where people have itching ears, and the first thing that comes along, or a thing that comes along, and if it sounds good,
They jump on it.
They jump right on it,
Yeah.
without actually doing the research. And you really have to be cognizant and skeptical of just going along with the first thing that is being said.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah. So, you know, as far as, I think you made some very good points about as far as being Republican or being Democratic. I'm not extremely political. I do my voting. I won't say which side I'm on. But
we can presume.
but anyways, I'm not against any human being, most of all. I want you to be as genuine as you can. I try to be as genuine as I can. I don't put up any fronts. You'll never hear me saying I'm perfect. So you just won't get that from me, and that's all I require from anyone that I'm dealing with. So as far as the election is concerned, well, we know politicians they're going to give you what needs to be given, but it's important to me to have someone in office that is going to actually do something for the nation, and not just a segment of the nation, but the entire nation. So that's what's important to me, and that's how I feel about that. But thank you for your perspective on that. Another thing, we're back to empire, and these are different angles of what's going on with these two particular situations. So even though empire is so successful, guess what happened? Lee Daniels got into a lawsuit with Sean Penn. You know how? God, Jesus. Okay, here's Empire producer Lee Daniels in a lawsuit with Sean Penn. The suit proclaims that Lee Daniels shouldn't compare him to Terrence Howard on spousal abuse because it's not true. The Atlanta Daily World has stated in this article that he has beat women and his ex-wife Madonna and was violent, continues to be violent. So let's not beat up Howard for doing the same thing. Daniels says it's a sign of the times on where we are on race in America today. What do you think?
Well, I would agree, and it's not a sign of the times. That has been the times. That has been the times, but it's still a constant reminder that there is a black law and there is a white law, and you know, as Cornel West said it, race matters. It can be the same issue, but then there's black time, there's white time, and you know, it's just unfortunate that the legal system, but then sees that the scales of justice is unequally weighed down, but we need to be careful about separating the same issue and handing out different portions of legal actions toward one. Again, it's based on maybe perhaps the issue of race. And I don't know neither of the gentlemen personally, but it is about popularity as well. And that plays into, you know, whether one's considered bad boy, good boy, or he was just having a rough time, we'll slap him on the wrist. This one is seen as a bad boy by mainstream society, and perhaps he receives a cruel, a more harsher penalty or sentence. So I don't know, it's just sad, but the scales of justice should be weighed equally, not dependent upon popularity.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that President Obama is working on too.
Right,
Yeah.
he has.
Yeah.
I think he's knocked down the crack cocaine, because there was a large disproportion of African Americans receiving harsher penalties for crack, whereas and so that's one of the things I really applaud him. And people really need to look at the laws that have been passed and the policies,
because that's where it all starts. That's where it all starts. That's how all this stuff gets to happen.
It's policies. And but again, we just jump on what we hear, and it's just not a good thing without knowing the truth.
Yeah, and that's major. I appreciate that. Well, that's it for this show.
Amen.
Very good, clean perspective. This man, he's got it going on in terms of giving out information, in terms of having a good view on what's going on in the world. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have that kind of conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's all, folks.